What's up, guys? This is Coach Amir from 7figurebody.com. I've been a professional fitness coach for the last 16 years, and I've helped transform over 1,200 successful entrepreneurs in that time. And in today's video, we're going to talk about low thyroid and does that prevent weight loss? And you guys have probably heard that somebody says, this is very, very, very common. Oh, I have low thyroid, therefore that's why I'm not losing weight. I'm eating 800 calories a day and not losing weight. Calories don't matter. Or if they do, I have low thyroid and that's why it doesn't work. Now, as usual, the truth is slightly different. Here's the truth. Many studies have been done on the topic of what is the impact on actual metabolic rate when somebody has low thyroid output, which means that two hormones, T3 and T4, that truly do control metabolism are lower. And there's another study that just recently was done, and it basically showed they had several groups, and they basically controlled how much lower below normal is their level of thyroid output. And therefore, they could literally say, if you have this level, this, if you have this level, this is how fast or slow your metabolic rate is going to be. And here's what they found. The outcome was that the slowdown of metabolic rate is very small, and in generally is not there. And even if it is there, it's about up to 5% of your metabolic rate slows down. What does this mean? Let's say an average person has, anywhere from 1,000 to whatever, 1,500 metabolic rate, meaning just basal metabolic rate for the calories that your body needs and energy your body needs to stay alive on a given day. That's the basis of what your body burns calories from. That is the biggest chunk of your calorie expenditure per day is that BMR, basal metabolic rate. That can be lowered up to 5%. So let's say it's 1,500. Right, which is for most men, it's probably going to be somewhere there, maybe a bit more, but it's 1,500, 5% off that. What is that? 75 calories per day. In this study, what they actually found was that the largest decrease was just under 100 calories a day. So they're trying to tell me, these people who have low thyroid, that 100 calories a day less than what you predicted is what's preventing your weight loss. No. What is usually happening in 99% of cases, people are not tracking food, or they're tracking incorrectly, but usually they're not tracking at all, and they're eating way more than they think they do, because this is simply how it works. We don't come, to this world knowing how many calories. We're actually all very bad in estimating our calorie intake, and many studies have concluded that people are absolutely notoriously horrible. All of us, we were all born with not having this skill. This is a skill we have to learn, which is why I always say the number one skill that I teach my clients, that when you have this skill, you're going to be set for life. You're going to lose weight once and never regain it again. And even if you gain a little bit, 5 pounds more than you want to have, you will easily lose it back again if you have this skill. What is the skill? Guesstimating the number of calories you consume without tracking them. That's the skill. Because I don't want you to track calories for the rest of your life. I don't track, and I haven't tracked since 2007 was the last time. So 17, however many years ago. So what you do is you track food for a number of months, and at some point you have familiarized yourself with the calorie amounts of most foods, and then you have that in the back of your mind. You always know how many calories you're consuming. Currently, if I asked you, if we talked today, you and I said, hey, do you know how many calories you ate yesterday? And you're like, not really, I don't know. Of course you don't know. Nobody does. It's normal unless you gain the skill you don't know, and that's why you're not losing weight, or that's why you gained weight, because you're eating more than you think you are. We all are always, especially the higher percentage of processed foods you have in your diet, the more caloric they are compared to what you think, and therefore the more calories you consume, and that's why you're getting overweight. So in this case, somebody having low thyroid, is that preventing them from losing weight? No, it's not. Because imagine we do the calculations and I math out the whole custom-made plan for you. I give it to you. I'm coaching you. Everything's going great. And you're like, hey, coach, I was supposed to be in a 500 calorie deficit today, let's say. And because I have low thyroid, I'm that lowest of all of them. And I have 100 calories less. So it's only a 400 calorie deficit instead of 500. You know what that would mean? At the end of the month, instead of losing 4 pounds, you lose 3.5 pounds of fat in that month. Okay? Sure, but is that bad? No, it's great. You're still losing body fat. So let's say your total transformation would take 6 months. Now it's going to take 7 months. So what? And by the way, this is assuming that you have low thyroid, you're doing nothing with it, you're not taking any medications, nothing, and you are of the 1,000 people who have that actual lower metabolism. Most people do not, by the way. Let's say you're that lowest, which again, you're not. But let's say statistically you are that like really, really screwed from all of them, like genetically, that's just how it is. By the way, that's not you. Statistically speaking, very, very, very unlikely that's you. But by the way, one last point that I wanted to make here is, people say to me, when I have, my private client events or I talk in some stage somewhere, I talk about low thyroid and somebody says, yeah, but I have low thyroid. I'm like, so are you on medication? You're usually taking, levothyroxine, Synthroid, one of these medications, the typical medications for that. I'm like, okay, so you have low thyroid. Let's assume that lowered it by 50 calories a day, your baseline metabolic rate. But then you took medication and then you got your thyroid hormones in a normal level, right? They're like, yes. So why would it be lower even for those 50 calories if you now, with medication, you go back to normal? Right? Like, it makes no sense. Why would it be lower if you, with medication, got it back up to normal? As long as it's within the physiological range, there's no impact on your metabolic rate at all. Even these 50, 70, 100 calories a day, which make no difference, by the way, because you're not losing weight or gaining weight because the 100 calories less. But if you're on medication, which most people with low thyroid are, why would there be any slowdown of metabolic rate? It just makes no sense, right? It was lower, you took medication, got it back up. Why would your metabolic rate be lower if it's now normal, if it's in the normal physiological range? It's just a logical fallacy, right? So guys, please remember, low thyroid is not the reason anybody in this world is not losing weight. It's because they're not tracking their calories, they're eating more than they think they do, or they are tracking it, but they have unrealistic expectations of how fast they should lose it. They think that on stupid shows like Biggest Loser, morbidly obese person's losing 15 pounds in a week because they're morbidly obese, 500 pounds, they went on a 600 calorie diet and they're being tortured for 5 hours a day, screaming and yelling somebody at them to do exercise. How is this relevant to a normal person, especially entrepreneur, and you're probably not obese, right? You have 20, 30, maybe 50 pounds to lose or less. But how is that relevant, what they're doing there, to you? It's not at all. So a lot of people are like either not tracking food, which is like 99% of them. Of these 1%, they have just unrealistic expectations of how it should work. Generally speaking, a pound of body fat loss per week is exceptional. This is for most people really, really, really good. So if you have 20 pounds to lose, yeah, that's 5 months. If you have 40 pounds to lose, it's not that many, but maybe 6, 7, 8 months, because you can lose a little bit more. Certainly, initially 2 pounds a week is possible. If you're a bit more overweight, then it slows down to 1 pound of body fat lost per week. Anything more than that, you're just either losing body water by dehydrating yourself from lower carbs, because carbs retain water, cut your carbs, flush out water, scale weight goes down. That's why you should not use the scale. You should just use fat calipers to measure your actual body fat as close as we can. So guys, that's it for today's video. If you are a successful entrepreneur and you'd like to see how I have transformed over the last 16 years, over 1,200 successful entrepreneurs, click the link below this video. There's a free video, 100% free, showing you A to Z how we do this. If it's right for you, let's chat. Maybe I can be your coach and you can be the next success story in our little 7-figure body world. If not, check out the video. It's free. There's nothing you need to buy. There's nothing, like, it's absolutely free. Get it, use it on your own. You can do that as well. And there's a $4.95 7-figure body book. You should absolutely get this book. A to Z, everything you need to know is in that book. So please go get it at the 7figurebodybook.com. And I will see you guys next time. Cheers.